Knowledge is not power, folks. Most people think it is, and that's the problem. People think knowledge is power. It's not. Applied knowledge is power. You could have all the knowledge in the world. You stick your toes in the sand at the beach. Guess what's going to happen? You're going to get burned everywhere but your toes in the sand. What you want to do is you want to take all that knowledge and you want to apply it. You want to go ahead and delegate the information out to somebody called bird dogs. And there's bird dogs all over the place. There's bird dogs in this room. There's bird dogs for me. There's bird dogs for other people. And there's even bird dogs down the street. They're just waiting for you to approach them. And getting the message out to them is a whole different thing, which we're going to talk about now. The bird dog funnel. How it works. What we're doing. How we're getting it out. Get the message out to the market. Get these bird dogs to do all the hi-ho for you. That's what it's all about. Giving them a small little piece. We're going to talk about that. The funnel, getting it in place, making it happen. Message to the marketplace. It's a term used for people who go out and look for deals. They get paid when you close the transaction. If you decide to pay them before you close the transaction, you do not close the transaction, then you're out of pocket. So the best thing to do is make it when you close the transaction, they get paid. Or you can make it when they bring you leads, but that's up to you. Either way, they get paid for finding deals. That's why they're called bird dogs. Other good potential bird dogs are right here. You can see them. Accountants, builders, engineers, appraisers, mail people, waiters, waitresses, bartenders, electricians, plumbers, mechanics, hairdressers, bankers, mortgage lenders, contractors, other investors, divorce attorneys, financial advisors, bankruptcy, and attorneys. And many, many, many more. We could do a whole class and a whole interaction on this, but I think you guys get it, right? You guys get it? Say yeah. Getting it. And guys, everybody and anybody is a bird dog. You know, I always get it. And the thing about it is, these bird dogs will go ahead, they'll move forward, they'll get deals to you as long as you can go ahead and share a certain amount of knowledge. I'm not telling you to go out in the hall and do a mini seminar, okay? I'm not telling you to jump on the phone and do a mini seminar. It's not worth your time, all right? Let the professionals do what they do best. Focus on what you do best. That's the way it works. All right? And you guys should listen to what I'm saying right now, because if you listen to broke people, all right, you're going to get the same results. And I know there's a lot of teachers and preachers out there, and I'll tell you right now, I'm very, very careful and very leery of who I listen to and advice that I get, even from people in this room or people outside this room, anywhere and everywhere, down the street, at other events, wherever you're at. Make sure that you're listening to quality information and apply that information and get real. Get real and get rich. Time's running out. All right, make it happen. So here it is. Treat this like a real business. This is a big business. It truly is. When I leave here, guys, I'm all about business. I'm constantly going. My acquisition team blows up my cell phone constantly. Why do they do that? Because that's my funnel. That's what I want them to do. And I touch base with them on an ongoing basis. I know exactly what's happening. Since I've been here, leads have been coming through on my phone from my platinum team. And I've shared some of the messages. The guy said, I'm going to continue to send you a deal until I get a deal nailed. That's the kind of persistence that you have to have, right? Winston Churchill, persistence, persistence, persistence. Get it nailed. Treat it like a business. Here's number 2. You need to be able to estimate repairs accurately. And this is the fluff within 20%, okay? Murphy is your partner, all right? If you don't know who Murphy is, you soon will. You always have to factor in the fudge factor, the Murphy factor, all right? But you need to accurately get in there within 20%. And if you can't, okay, then you must find out how, and that's within the system, all right? But you need to find out if a deal is a real deal. Number 3 is this. You need to know how to comp a deal. This doesn't mean that you grab the other for sale listings in the neighborhood and call those prices, which are called comps. Comps are comparables. It must be apples to apples. And commercial comps are difficult, and I'll tell you why. Comps are difficult because not always there's going to be a 20-unit apartment complex right down the street. And it has to be somewhere within reach. And value is determined a lot of different ways. Mostly it's determined by the cap rate, the per square foot comps. That's pretty much the norm, okay? But when we're looking at these properties, we need to make sure that it's apples to apples. If it's going to be a 20 unit, it's got to be another 20 unit or close to 30 unit, 40 unit. It's got to be right there. It's got to be the same type of property. It's got to be kind of the same location. You got to get close to it. But I want to say this in my disclaimer, only a fool would close on a property without a bona fide appraisal. That's a as-is value, forward-looking value. That will go ahead and justify the information. There's no money spent when we do pre-contract due diligence, as I said before. That's just flapping your lips and asking. Then what we do is we justify all that information. Remember buyer beware in commercial? Everything told to us basically is BS, so we verify it all. Remember Ron had the information on that guy? He's sitting here and he's like, I got the information, here's the information, this is what the guy told me. And I sit right here and I say, okay, tell me, what is the deal? How does it work? When's the balloon? He said it was a 6% long-term interest. What did this guy say? 24 months, the thing pops. You want to find that out now, not later. It's very, very important. And your bird dogs will be able to find out that information. You're going to run into some really aggressive people, and if you're kind of somebody that's a little bit more relaxed, a little bit more chill, you don't want to do any work. Who's really lazy here? Raise your hand. Guys, half the room didn't even raise your hand. You guys are so lazy. There's no way you can be lazier than me. I'm the laziest investor on the planet. I don't want to do any work. I always want to delegate all the work. I want everyone else to go ahead and get their piece to be able to help do the deal. Now, of course, I oversee things and I make sure that it goes right, but nevertheless, guys, it's all about delegation. This means that you need to call a broker and appraiser to see what's recently sold, all right? If it's in a subdivision, what the average days on market is, and what that same type and size of the project of that type of property, okay? So days on market's really important. Days on market's really important. Okay. You must also know how to determine the as-is value, as we covered, current condition, the ARV. Those are the two biggest things in my eyes. When we sat down on the chair, and on the couch, and we were making calls, I needed to know right off the bat. I said, who is it? Somebody right over here said, what is the as-is value? We always want to know how much are they asking and what's the thing worth? Isn't that just what it is? Look, if you wanted to buy this from me, the first thing that you would want to know is how much is it worth? Right? What are you going to do? Make a blind offer? What are you going to say? I'll give you $100 for it? Well, you don't know. You need to know exactly what it's worth, okay? What it's worth in its current condition, all right? And then maybe what it would be worth after you do whatever you do to it. That's very, very important. Use the lowest or average selling price per square foot when you're estimating and selling price to see if there's enough room in the deal. This is information for your bird dog. This is the whole bird dog system, so that way you can get them moving forward. Remember, you're not in a position to go ahead and teach seminars. Time's too short. Take this information. Give them this information. Let your bird dogs digest this portion of this information, and they'll have just enough to bring you the leads that you want to get through your pipe. And that's all types of bird dogs, folks, everywhere from, like we mentioned, all walks of life, all people that are willing and ready to make it happen. Okay? So, please don't use the top end. In other words, what we always want to do is be extremely, extremely conservative. And that will strengthen our exit strategies for selling, especially since we often are paying hard money loan rates. And we will.